And now we move on to the talkies, which started in 1926, 1927. Um, Technology was developed to record sound on separate devices, but then to synchronize the sound recording with the film. Walt Disney was an early innovator in this area too, by the way, with some of his animated shorts. We're going to see Steamboat Willie in a little while. But Disney also was very innovative, really a genius in his own way, particularly with animation, but really about everything was show business. Founder of course, the Disney company, Walt Disney, and his brother Roy, two of them. Walt, someone who drew and doodled all the time, and kind of was one of the first people to do animations. The first full-length animated feature, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We'll talk about it in a minute. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. The talkies. So here we have some of the stars, studio stars. We saw the silent film stars. Here are some stars from the 30s, maybe into the 40s. I would say the golden age of the studio system. Maybe you recognize some of these folks, but likely you don't. I could give you the name of almost everyone here as a kid who turned on the TV after school, and growing up in the 50s and the 60s. The studios at first did not release their films to television. They were threatened by television when it came to the fore after World War II. So in 1947-48, television really replaced radio as the primary home entertainment medium. And again, it hurt the movie business. People could watch at home on a little black and white box. Nowhere near as good as going to a color film, but nevertheless, a lot easier. And the network content was free. It was broadcast over the airwaves via radio waves, picked up by your home antenna. This is before cable. You had 3 or 4 major networks. That was about it. And they were able to start getting their hands on film content in the mid to late 50s. I remember watching Wizard of Oz. It was broadcast once a year. And my dad would make fudge, which is one of 2 things he could cook. I think the other was scrambled eggs. Chocolate fudge, I'll never forget it. Anyway, so I grew up watching these folks. I know you haven't out there, but these were the Hollywood stars. The glamour, star business. You see Cary Grant is the second from the left on the top there. You see Lauren Bacall. She's the third. No, wait a minute. He's second from the right. Excuse me. First from the left. My apologies. On the very top row. The third from the right, the woman with the sultry look, is Lauren Bacall, who was married to famous star Humphrey Bogart. I can see Paul Newman in the second row, a little to the left of the middle, wearing a hat. He really came along in the late 50s and 60s, but was a real countercultural star. And lots of other. I see Clark Gable, I see Errol Flynn, and oh my. Okay. So change comes to Hollywood with the talkies. Don Juan, I guess, was the first jazz singer, 1927. A lot of it was silent, but there were several sound and speaking scenes. Lights of New York, 1928, was all sound. Now, I need to to stop here because I am going to show a little bit of a song with obviously with sound from the jazz singer. And the reason I'm stopping is that Al Jolson, the star of the film, who was a vaudeville star, singer, and entertainer, performs in blackface, which is an extremely controversial, sensitive issue. It's obviously racist to the max degree for white people to put black makeup on their faces and pretend to be, quote, black people, unquote, and always attempting to show what they thought was stereotypical behavior from the black community. And of course, it's ridiculous and it's racist. So I'm going to stop here, and the blackface content, and I'm going to do a discussion of blackface. I'm going to show a tape, I think it's from NBC Sunday morning, discussing blackface. I know a number of you will be sensitive to it. I don't want you to be upset and look at this if you don't want to. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna have a separate kind of blackface chunk of content. I'm gonna label it such, and you are free to look at it or not as you will. If anyone's disturbed by anything that they see or hear on this or any other topic, please feel free to contact me. And I apologize in advance if I have offended anyone.